Hi, I'm Carl Shook. I had the opportunity in the 1980s and some of the 90s actually to encounter Jon Pertwee, to meet him and talk to him through cons, and one time I even interviewed him over the telephone. And I wanted to tell you something of my experiences in meeting the man, what he was like, and everything else. Well, the first time I ever saw him was during a convention in 1983 in Chicago, almost immediately after the 20th anniversary of Doctor Who, when the Five Doctors was broadcast in Chicago on that Wednesday, the 23rd of November. Actually, America saw the 20th anniversary special of the Five Doctors before the UK, because there was some program or other, I don't know what it was, that Britain had to have on the air on Wednesday nights. So the Five Doctors was seen actually on the Saturday, which would have been the 26th of November 1983. Anyway, there was a big convention in Chicago that weekend, and all four living doctors at the time were there. And the one story that I remember of Jon Pertwee during that convention was this. There was the convention itself was raucous and full of people and everything, and there were long lines, and people were very tired. And actually, somehow, somebody, a college age girl, actually injured her leg while standing in line during the convention the first day. And she was on crutches on the Sunday. And, well, when you're disabled, they let people in early for the autograph lines. I'm in a wheelchair and use crutches myself, and I've taken advantage of that, believe me. But this girl happened to be standing on her crutches before and the people for the autograph line was the guests for the autographs were sitting there waiting for them for the start. I remember Jon Pertwee was at the table and John Nathan Turner, and Mr. Pertwee said to somebody on the staff of the convention, "Can't we get this girl a chair?" And she explained that it was much easier for her if she stood because her leg needed to be stretched out. And Mr. Pertwee's reply was, "Well, then lie down, girl." Anyway, so after some intense talking to his agent during the period, I think it was still 1983, I kept calling. Actually, it might have gotten into 1984 because I had to make so many phone calls to Edinger and Edinger in Liverpool. But I finally got the uh, interview set up via telephone with Jon Pertwee. And so when I first called at the appointed time, the man was out water skiing. And he was at the time, 63. But then I called back later that morning. For me, it was morning. I don't know. And I tried to explain to him who I was. His response was, "Yes, I know who you are, Carl. Now fire away. Don't waste money." And that was an interesting start to that interview. And I met him subsequently at conventions a few times. By the way, the interview never got published. I had some difficulties with the magazine it was scheduled to be with. But anyway, I met Mr. Pertwee subsequently a few times, And there was one time uh, he was he was at a table selling his memoirs, autobiography of the first half of his life, which was called Moon Boots and Dinner Suits. Now, I was walking by on my crutches. The book, you have a budget for the cons, and the book was beyond my budget for the convention. So I was walking by, rather slowly, and he yelled at me hello, and I kind of acknowledged back, and started walking again. And he says to me, "Don't run off." So he walks up to me. He wanted to shake my hand. He would. I must say, Mr. Pertwee was a commanding presence. One time during the first convention that I saw him, which I mentioned, people were awfully upset, and he said, "I think we should give credit to." At the end of the convention session, he said, "I think we should give credit to the people who organized this convention," and people started booing. And he said, "Well, keep the boos to yourself." And everybody quieted down. So he was a commanding presence. He was the guy in charge when he was in the room. There was no doubt about that. He was a very nice man, and I wish today's fans could have met him. Anyway, thank you very much for listening. Bye.